Mary Conroy, and I'm on this university campus today to give a lecture on self-defense, which could save your life. What you're about to see is not judo, karate, any of the martial arts, which take years of training plus continual practice. What I teach are simple, common-sense techniques that can be learned by anyone, young or old, weak or strong, coordinated or uncoordinated, in a short period of time and remembered for life. So come on in. I think you'll find it interesting and enjoyable. Speaking of enjoyable, I like to keep my lectures and clinics somewhat light-hearted because the topic of rape, assault, and murder can be terribly depressing and can often cause students to tune out. So please bear in mind that the humor is not intended to diminish the seriousness of the subject matter, but to be used as a tool for learning. What you're going to see today are common sense, simple street fighting techniques. And to help me with the program, I'm going to need someone who is hostile and aggressive or a dirty old man. It's Gene Rayburn, television star. There are 3 strategies in the program of self-defense. And the first 2 don't require any physical skill whatsoever. The first one is learn to eliminate danger before it ever begins. Gene, can you think of a way of eliminating danger before it begins?
Eliminating danger before it begins? Well, one important thing would be to lock your door, wouldn't it?
Right. Lock your door. What kind of lock is the best kind to have?
Well, the locksmiths tell me the best kind is that what they call a deadbolt lock that slides across.
The safest lock you can purchase is a 1-inch double-cylinder deadbolt. It requires a key to open from either side. Never use a spring lock on an entrance door. This latch is easily jimmied with a plastic card. A robber can open your door faster with a plastic playing card than you can with a key, unless you have a deadbolt lock. What's another way to eliminate danger before it ever begins?
Well, one thing is don't hitchhike. That's going to be tough to convince them, but it's extremely important not to hitchhike.
Hitchhiking is literally playing rape roulette. The nice guy who picks you up because you just need a ride may be Peter Pervert in disguise. So don't hitchhike. What's another way to eliminate danger?
Oh, I know.
There are hundreds of them.
Don't let strangers into your house. Somebody knocks on the door.
Who's there?
It's the plumber. The landlord sent me to check the drains.
Oh, he didn't tell me. Can I see your identification? Thank you. Just a minute. I want to verify that with the landlord on the phone. Operator, will you give him the police, please? Identify whoever you let into your house before you let him in. The second strategy of self-defense is learn to recognize and avoid danger. Imagine yourself in a dangerous situation and let's see how you can avoid it. You're walking alone in a deserted area. Walk briskly and with confidence. Never let yourself appear unsure or weak. That's an invitation to muggers. Walk in the middle of the path, away from bushes and other possible hiding places. Carry your purse close to your body. Don't invite trouble by making it easy to grab. And have your car keys ready. Get in quickly and lock the door behind you. Gene, let's say you receive an obscene phone call. What are you going to do?
Well, any volunteers? The obvious thing to do, since this is all based on common sense, is to hang up, isn't it?
That's right. Simply hang up. If the calls continue, keep a whistle by your telephone. Hello? And when you hear his deep breathing, blow it loud and strong. Obscene phone calls are a felony, so if they persist, notify the telephone company, because if you're willing to prosecute, they can set up an electronic trap for the obscene caller. A third ploy is to tap the mouthpiece with your finger and say, "Officer, this is the call I've been expecting. Now you can trace it." Let's take a look at another dangerous situation. You're walking down the street and feel that someone is following you. Don't clutch your purse and force him to hit you. You'll only get hurt. Rather, recognize that you're in danger, change your direction at a 90-degree angle, run, scream fire, fire, drop your purse. If that's what he's after, you're safe. The only time you will ever fight is when your life or your health is in danger, because anything you own can be repurchased, but your life and your health can't. The major reason that you only fight for your life or your health is that you can lose. So if you fight for a few dollars in your purse and you lose, you are very, very foolish. Always give up your valuables. Now, Jean, let's take a situation. You're lying at home in bed, and you hear someone in your house, and you know that you live alone. What do you think you should do?
Try and call the police, I suppose. Does that make any sense?
Okay. If you're upstairs and you hear noise downstairs, yes, call the police. Don't go down to find out what he wants. Or if someone is in your bedroom and you see them there, don't sit up and say, "Who are you? What do you want?" And let them clear out your house.
So just pretend you're asleep.
Just pretend like you're asleep. Now, let's take another situation. Say that you're approached on the street by me. I weigh 104 pounds, and I'm 5 feet 4 inches tall. And I say, "Hey, man, give me your money."
Get lost, little girl.
And I pull out, bang, bang.
That little girl shot me.
Was it worth fighting for?
Certainly was not, because I lost my life, didn't I?
That's right. You never know. There are a lot of crazy people out in this world, and you never know if they mean it. So for a few dollars, just give it to them. After you have eliminated all of the dangers that you can think of, which is the first strategy of self-defense, and now you've tried to recognize and avoid all of the dangers you can think of, are you still safe?
No, I guess not.
No, you can never be totally safe. That employs the third strategy of self-defense, which is fight. And when you fight, it must be 100%. Don't just say to yourself, "I think I'll hurt him a little bit to show him I mean business." Because how would it make you feel if, say, I hit you in the cheek to let you know that I meant business?
Well, it would hurt, and it would just make me angry, and then I'd really go after him.
Yeah. Anytime you fight, aim not just to hurt, but to seriously injure and immobilize him. Because if you don't, he may very well kill you. This is John. He strangled a woman to death during a robbery.
During this trip, we broke into this lady's house, and when she wouldn't give us her stuff, we got into a fight. I strangled her.
Do you have any advice for the victim of a burglary?
Yeah. She should give him the valuables. Don't fight about it. Yeah, that stupid lady, she fought for about $20 worth of stuff.
There's a lot of misinformation going around about what self-defense is. Can I ask you for some very honest reactions? What would you do if, say, you're attacking a woman and she were to stamp on your instep or hit you in the chin or box your ears?
Man, if she did something like that, I'd have to hurt her pretty bad.
I also asked John about some defensive tactics which can be used by any woman. What if, while she was being strangled, she had gouged your eyes with her thumb?
My eyes? You mean if she'd really gotten me in the eyes? Well, if she'd done that, she'd be alive.
During my lectures, two predominant questions are commonly asked. Rita is a rape victim, and I've asked her to respond to these questions. Rita, the first question that many people say is, "I'm just too docile. I really couldn't hurt another person." How would you respond to that?
It's your life on the line. You do anything to protect yourself, to survive.
The second question they ask is, what would I do if I panic?
In my case, I did panic, but I feel now that I could have used whatever information I have now, whatever knowledge.
How long did your rape take?
6 hours.
So, somewhere in those 6 hours, you're going to remember a little bit of self-defense.
Oh, definitely, yes. There were times when there was calm within myself and I can use my head. A lot of times I could have used the opportunity for the self-defense knowledge now. I just wish that every female would be taking some kind of self-defense course, no matter how small or how large, but some kind of instruction to be able to use their own body, to give them the confidence that they have within themselves to protect themselves.
I have 5 best weapons on my body. Let's start from the ground level up. What is my first best weapon? Legs, right. They're the longest part of my body, strongest part, and men aren't used to blocking down there. So I can kick here. What is the second best weapon on my body? The knee. Again, into the groin, or after he's doubled over, sandwich the head in between your hands with your knee and hand. What is the third? Elbow. Let's talk about the elbow for a second. If you try and use your elbow, you're going to be about this height. It's unrealistic to jump up, hit him there, or scoot down, hit him there. So using the elbow is a little bit difficult. Use your hand instead. Anything the elbow can reach, your hand can reach a lot more simply. Therefore, eliminate the elbow, and what is the next best weapon? Hands. Thumb. The next? Fingers and thumbs. Notice how I stabilize his head. I don't just aim this way. Try and move your head, Gene. I've got him. And fingers. And the final best weapon? Voice. That's it. When I scream, I should never scream help. Unfortunately, people may not come to your rescue if you scream help. Rather, scream, fire, fire, fire. Interesting study was done a few years ago in New York City. Woman was walking down the street, running down the street with a large burly man coming after her. She was screaming, help, help, help. Lights went out, doors closed. Nobody called the police. Same woman, 2 weeks later, same controlled study, man chasing after her down the street. She was yelling, fire, fire, fire. Lights went on. People opened their drapes. They poured out into the street. They called the fire department and the police. The whole reason is vested interest and involvement. People, unfortunately, don't want to get involved with a help situation. Fire? Oh, my car might be on fire. My house might be on fire. So when you are running from danger, yell fire. However, this is a little bit dumb, right? Watch. He's coming towards me, and I'm going, fire, 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 fire!
Where?
A little silly.
Yes.
Rather than yelling fire, and rather than yelling help, yell karate sound or aggressive sound. Just come as though you're going to choke me. Help! 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 Wait a minute! Help! How does it make you feel?
Well, it made me feel more powerful. It kind of encourages, I think, an assailant.
But now watch. Come towards me.
Yes. Stop that!
How does that make you feel?
Well, it's startling. It changes your direction.
Yelling karate-sounding words can be very intimidating. So, you're running from danger, yell fire. You're under attack, yell karate sounds. But at the same time you're fighting. You can't just sigh him down the street and out the door. If you absolutely can't scream, and some people cannot scream, then use a whistle. Don't wear it around your neck. If you're blowing a whistle and he doesn't like the sound, he'll choke you with it. Carry it in your hand. Have it available. And blow it in some kind of a sequence so that you might sound like a policewoman, i.e., never spit, swear, or say nasty things to an assailant, or struggle with him. Remember, in self-defense, you get only one bout. And if that bout doesn't work, you don't get a second one. So aim to very seriously injure. Gene, let's talk about your 5 vulnerable areas on your body.
All right.
And what is the first, choke me from behind, what do you think the first vulnerable area on his body is? Okay, I hear shin and instep. Let's talk about that for a second. Gene, what would you do if I started with my heel right here, scraped all the way down your shin and stamped into your instep?
I'd wring your neck.
Yeah, why?
Well, because you just hurt me, and that would make me angry, and that really didn't incapacitate me.
That's the whole thing. So don't think you're going to do that and get away. He's going to be angry. But what would you do if I kicked your knee with that much pressure?
Well, I guess my knee would crumble under me, and I'd just fall down on the ground then.
Could I outrun you?
Yes, with a disabled knee, you could.
Yes. So the knee is the first vulnerable area on the body. And kick it from the side or the front, never from the rear. He'll just fall down. The second vulnerable area on his body is what? Groin. You all know that one. That's right, the groin. Several things that we can do to the groin, ladies. For example, we can knee into the groin. We can kick into the groin.
Now, wait a minute. I'm going to grab your foot.
You think you can grab my foot before I kick into the groin?
Let me try.
All right. Try again.
One more second.
Yeah, the idea that you're going to be able to grab somebody's foot is ridiculous if you've got a good, strong kick. Now, look, if you telegraph, though, and start from back here and kick up there, of course he's going to be able to grab your foot, and then you're in trouble. So everything is a forward and then backward movement so that he cannot grab your foot. You can also hit into the groin, and you can reach in and pull.
Now, wait a minute. Now, hold on.
The next vulnerable area on his body is what? Solar plexus. Okay, it is vulnerable, but do I have it yet?
I don't know. It's somewhere there.
Yeah.
It's hard to find, isn't it?
That's the whole point. If a man is wearing clothing, which he probably will be at that point, to find it is very difficult. And to hit in directly into it, yes, you can do some serious damage. But if you miss, and say I hit a rib cage, or the stomach, what would you do?
Well, it would hurt, and again I would get angry.
Right. Eliminate the solar plexus. It's just too hard to find. What is the next vulnerable area on his body? The neck, yes. And you can hit into the throat this way, or after you've kneed him in the groin, what is his posture? Very good. And you can come down on the back of the neck in this fashion. What is the next vulnerable area on his body? Nose. And you can hit up into the nose this way. Notice, you curl your fingers back to the cushiony part and keep your hand in. Keep your thumb in so you don't break it off. And hit up and under this way. Never sling your fist at him in this fashion. Hit up and under. Or double hand blow on the base of the nose. And what is the fifth vulnerable area? Eyes. Watch. If somebody is killing the life out of you, don't try to do anything fancy. Like choke. You see people doing things like that or dropping them down and trying to get out that way. No, if somebody is choking you, go for his eyes. Would you let go?
I would indeed let go.
Yes. The eyes are the most vulnerable part of any body. And you can do this to them, or you can gouge all your fingers into his eyes. Why do you go with 4 fingers rather than just 2? So you don't miss. You go with 2, you can miss. 4, you're going to be on target. Your defense will need 4 elements. The first element is speed or surprise. Gene, if I'm going to hit you and I telegraph like this, what are you... Yes. You
grab your arm and flatten you there.
Right.
Nothing to it, folks.
So you must have speed, surprise. The second element is power. Now, you don't need an enormous amount of power. You don't have to look like King Kong in order to do some damage, but muster up all of the power that you possibly can. The third thing is accuracy. Don't hit him in the cheek. What would you do?
That just make me mad. I go pow again.
Right. When you aim for the nose, hit him in the nose. And the final thing is fall follow through. If you think you're going to just hit him once and say, gotcha, bye, you're wrong. Follow through, because if the first time you miss, the second time you better get it, and the third time dislocate his knee and down on his head. And don't stop even when he's down on the
Fire!
ground.
Fire! Fire!
You paid attention to the lecture, didn't
Right,
you?
I've been listening. You hurt me. I'm going to sue you.
Ah.
Hey, can I sue you?
That brings up an interesting question. Can he sue? The following is an interview that I had with a Superior Court judge. This is Superior Court Judge Earl Riley. Judge Riley, what are the legal responsibilities for taking self-defense action?
A person is entitled to take reasonable action in self-defense in defense of himself, his property, and his household, the members of his household.
And how far can one go?
As far as is reasonably necessary under the circumstances, including the taking of life if that be necessary.
So if an assailant is trying to rape or murder me, and I in self-defense kill him, I'm legally justified?
As long as you act reasonably under circumstances which require that action, yes.
One of the most common fears women have is being attacked in bed. This woman is 73 years old. She's not helpless. She delivers an eye gouge, a groin pull, and runs screaming, "Fire! Fire!" You're walking to your car. Suddenly a man grabs you. You scream, deliver a groin hit, single hand blow to the nose, knee him in the groin, double hand blow to the throat, dislocate his knee with a kick, and run screaming, "Fire!" You're all by yourself on a park bench. The man sits beside you. And when you move away, he grabs your arm.
What do you want?
Hey, what do you want? You ask
Huh?
what he
What do you
wants.
want?
Offer him your purse.
Look, I'll give you my
But he
money.
doesn't
Here.
let go. Deliver a groin, a double hand blow to the back of the neck. When he falls, follow through with kicks to the head and run, screaming, "Fire!"
You've just witnessed every single technique that I recommend for self-defense. Certainly there are a plethora of other techniques, but to learn them is unnecessary and confusing. Keep it simple. Don't look for anything hard. The more simple it is, the easier it is to learn, and the easier it is to remember. There's a lot of misinformation about what self-defense is. I know that many of you have heard, carry a trusty can of hairspray and spray it in your assailant's eyes, and it will blind him immediately, and he'll go down on the ground in a helpless heap of humanity. Enough said about hairspray, right?
Would you? I need a little right.
A fingernail file. Again, the only place correct to jab would be into the eye. But why use one thing when you've got four things attached at the end of your arm? Rather than this. Also, yes, if he takes it away from you, good point. If he takes it away from you, he can use it against you. No, I don't recommend any of those things. What I'm really saying is only rely on your body. It's all you're going to need. It's always with you. You don't have to fumble in your purse for it. It can never be taken away from you and used against you. And you maintain your element of surprise. One word about the moral responsibility for using self-defense. This kind of knowledge can be as lethal as a loaded gun. And it's never to be used on friends or relatives in fits of hostility or anger. Only when your life or health is at stake. Also, self-defense is not a substitute for good judgment. Don't say, well, now that I know self-defense, I can walk late at night. I don't need to be with anybody. I can open my door to strangers. No. You're trying to recognize and avoid danger. You want to eliminate every danger that you possibly can and fight only when necessary.
The point is, don't look for trouble. But if trouble finds you, be prepared. Is that good advice?
Super advice. I told you that this lecture could save your life. But just as it's impossible to learn how to swim without ever getting wet, you can't use the skills of self-defense without practicing them. Enroll in a simple course in self-defense, or take a one-day clinic, or just invite some friends over to practice. Let's shatter that stereotype that women are helpless, defenseless, and vulnerable. Do it now.